You ready?
Well, you know where I sit. I'm sorry.
We'll call our meeting to order. First item is roll call. Diane?
Mayor Skoog.
Present.
Vice Mayor Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Grossman.
I'm here.
Councilmember Mowry.
Here.
Councilmember Nye.
Always glad to be here.
Councilmember Whiting.
Here.
And Councilmember Rooney.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you, Diane. Next item, promotion of PD Corporal Tony Lawrence. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for this opportunity to recognize the promotion of Tony, a.k.a. Anthony Lawrence, from Corporal to Sergeant. If I can tell you a little bit about Tony, he started his career with our department about 13 years ago. He learned the ropes in patrol, worked as a motor officer for a couple years, and then came back to patrol, where he was promoted to corporal in 2012. Tony has earned several awards: Rookie of the Year, Officer of the Year, and 3 times he has been the Impaired Driver Enforcement Officer of the Year. Tony is a certified drug recognition expert and a phlebotomist. If you don't know, drug recognition experts go through some intense training, schooling, and then certification so that they can do specific impaired driver enforcement on people that are driving under the influence of drugs. If you can't tell, Tony's got a passion for impaired driver enforcement and the safety of our community, and he has shown it not just in his work ethic in this area, but also in prevention and education. Tony works with Matt Force, where he facilitates impact panels aimed at reducing the impact of alcohol on our youth and our community in general. And he does a lot of this work outside of his regular schedule in addition to his normal duties. I'm sure you're aware of that. Tony is married to his beautiful wife, Angela, going on 18 years. That's how long they've been married, not her age. Together they have 4 children: Julie, Jude, Claire, and their youngest, Kaylin. Tony practices the motto that family is the most important priority in his life. Without the support of his wife and family, all that he accomplished wouldn't be possible. And these are Tony's words. Tony has always had the support of his parents and in-laws as well. Personally speaking, since Tony started with the department, I've had many opportunities to work with him, mostly as a supervisor. I know him to be a champion of community policing and a strong voice for the employees of our organization. Tony is also a great example of someone who's helped me to learn some very important leadership lessons. It's been a pleasure to work with you so far, and I look forward to seeing what you do as a sergeant.
Okay, if you'll hold up your right hand. I, Tony Lawrence,
I, Tony Lawrence,
do solemnly swear
that
I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the laws of the state of Arizona,
I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the laws of Arizona,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the position of sergeant for the town of Prescott Valley,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the position of sergeant for the town of Prescott Valley,
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
According to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Who's first, you or Angela?
I'll speak first. Or are we going to do that? Your choice.
There you go.
Any of you can come in closer to get those pictures if you'd like to.
Perfect.
I like it. There you go.
There you go. Okay. You want to make some comments here? Sorry, Angela starts.
Sure. All right.
It's 20 minutes, by the way.
Tony loves his career and loves everyone he works with, and I'm so proud of him. He does a really great job separating his work life with when he's home with the family and really concentrating on all of our children and us, and I love that about him. So I'm proud of you, and congratulations, and I love you.
One obligation, you have to introduce all these people here.
All right. Oh, yes. Actually, Jude wanted to say a couple of words. This is our son, Jude.
So I wanted to say that I think my father does a really good job of his work, and he tries really hard to keep everybody safe.
I love my dad because he works very hard to keep us all safe.
Julie is our oldest daughter. Nothing. And Callan is our youngest. Okay.
Mother-in-law,
Yes. Mother-in-law is Nancy Files. Father-in-law is Bo Files. Mom is Ginger Lawrence. His dad is Trent Lawrence. And my brother Kevin, his wife Casey, and my nephew Noah.
I think I can share something. Mr. Files, Bo Files, was on the council with me about, 25 years ago? Yeah. He hasn't aged a bit. Hey, Bo, that's good to see you. Sergeant.
First off, thank you, Council, Mayor, Mr. Tukowski, thank you. This testing was unique in the aspect of there wasn't an officer, sergeant, lieutenant, all the way up to the deputy chief and chief who didn't assist preparing for this test. It meant a lot to me. It brought the whole PD, I think, together in that aspect. A lot of people had my support, including the single dispatcher that showed up today. Thank you. And my mom, my wife, and my oldest daughter, Julie, there was tons of flashcards with the sergeant test. They all went through these questions for me. They all read them to me. They probably knew the answers better than I did at the end, but I appreciate their help in that aspect. My parents have always been a big support. My in-laws have always been a big support. My family at home, they definitely ground me. I get home, I realize what's important, what's not important, and that's truly how I try to live my life and how I try to help the citizens. Thank you very much. And to end note real quick, Lieutenant Woods made a bet that I was going to get up here and cry like a young child. So I have just won $10. So thank you very much.
Laura?
Sergeant Lawrence. Is that rolling off your tongue well yet? Well, get used to it. It's exciting. I was a little concerned when we were listening about you because it sounded like you were the impaired driver of the year. We knew that wasn't so, but your wording was interesting. It's easy to joke with you, but more importantly, please know the value that you hold in each of our lives, how important you and your family are to all of us. We're very, very fortunate, and we do understand and know that. We not only count on you to keep us safe, but we respect you as a very valued human being.
Mike?
Yeah, I just want to congratulate the Sergeant. I'm always pleased to see the officers work their way through the ranks, because I think it's important to the community and to the town to know that the officers have this experience and exposure to the various elements of law enforcement. And they are indeed professionals. And I know that your wife said you loved your job, and I know you do. And I think all the officers here love their jobs or they wouldn't be here. And we love you as well because you keep us safe. So congratulations.
Thank you. Marty?
Congratulations on the promotion. It's well earned. And it's great to see your family here being so well represented, and the words that they gave. I mean, it just keeps reinforcing the kind of police force that we have here and the family commitment to that. I've said this before, and I'll say it again, okay? As we watch all of our officers be promoted and some of them being awarded different recognition awards, it's always nice to see, first of all, the support that they have here, and also the fact that all of our police officers are allowed to progress and achieve their accomplishments with the full support of the leadership in our police department and their fellow officers. So it's, you know, there are no limits as to how high you could go. It's all up to you as to how high you want to go. So thank you again for your promotion, and we look forward to seeing you do more. Thank you.
Jody?
Sergeant Lawrence, I'm just so proud of you and your family. And this week I got a chance to go and visit your family at the police department, and that was awesome. I saw a lot of activity. I saw a lot of camaraderie, and I see that with your family too. And I hear, you know, your children saying how they're proud of you and that you love and serve and protect. We appreciate that. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Mary?
Well, as always, I appreciate your service. And you have a beautiful family. And I know that the work you do is out of the love of your heart for the community and for people in general. So we appreciate you, and God bless you always and your beautiful family. I've known your parents for quite a long time, and I did not realize, did not connect, but it's wonderful. Thank you very much, and congratulations.
Vice Mayor?
One of the very best parts of this job that I've had for the last 8 years has been able to be in here and watch our police officers receive accolades and promotions, and to see all of the other officers show up in support of each and every one of you, and to see your families here with you showing their support. And I want you to know that we continue to support you all the time. Thank you very much for all that you do.
Angela, you still have 19 and a half minutes. But sure is great. Congratulations. We have a super police department, super staff. You have a beautiful family. We wish you about another 30 years of success, or 40 even. Right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Official now.
Thank you for that time, Mayor and Council.
Any other comments, Chief? No? Okay, now we'll go on to number 4. Discussion, privatization of Cdbg projects.
You ready?
We're ready.
Where's everybody going? They here for me? Guess not. Okay. Well, last week, as you're aware, we held a public hearing for the next round of Community Development Block Grant funds. As part of that public hearing, there was one project discussed. That was a project the town put forward to construct a sidewalk on the north side of a Long Look Drive, essentially from Viewpoint to Lone Cactus. That would then connect into a big construction project the town will be doing at the intersection of Glasser Hill and Long Look. As part of the Cdbg process, we're required to meet to prioritize projects. It makes it a little bit easier since there's only one, but we still have to go through the process. So I'm happy to answer any questions you might have and ask if you want to move forward with this project.
Oh, Mary?
Oh, yeah, we do. Definitely.
Good. Any other comments or questions? Laura?
It's a very needed project. Let's get going.
Just a couple of quick items. About once a year, I'll wander down to Norm's office and say, we have an idea for a really good project. Do you have any money to help design? Usually he has money for that. This year, we've got a number of active ongoing road projects under design, and he has exhausted his engineering line item. So next week, with your permission, we'll be requesting about a $12,000 transfer from our contingency fund back into his engineering line item. That is a requirement of this grant that we submit that design with our application. So if you're on board with that, then we'll move forward.
Everybody in agreement? Rick? No comments? Ryan, bring her back, whatever it takes.
Will do. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Discussion, project, our Prescott Valley Community Access Channel, PCAC agreement.
I'll stay here for this one. I'm going to walk us back in time about 10 years. About every 10 years or so, we have an agreement with Cable One to renew their license to operate within the town of Prescott Valley, to use our right-of-ways and basically work with the town to provide that service. At the same time, about 10 years ago, we made the decision to split off the public access portion of our programming to a separate channel. The town didn't want to be in a position to have to moderate what kind of content public brought forth to our channel. So at the time, we increased the license fee from 3% to 5%, and then we took 20% of the revenue we received from that license fee, and we paid for Prescott Community Access Channel to run that channel for us. Now, as you're aware, the past 10 years, a lot has changed in the media world. We feel at this time that there's not really a need to provide that kind of a service anymore. There's many platforms where people can get their message out, including Facebook Live, YouTube, any of those software programs that if they want to get a message out, they can. So the agreement 10 years ago expires on April 14th of this year, 2017. We're proposing just to let that agreement expire. Now, the legal department has been doing some research on the license fee process, and they believe if we're taking away a channel from the cable menu that we need to reduce our fee a little bit. And so in about a month's time, we'll be coming back before you to renew that license. And at that time, we'll probably be proposing that we reduce our fee from 5% to 4%. And then, in turn, Cable One would pass that savings along to their customers. So, any questions?
Questions, anyone? Mike?
Yeah, I just want to mention, I know I produced some shows as part of the United Way and as well as a civic organization. So that resource is very valuable, but I see where, it's capable of carrying on without, I think, the support of Prescott Valley, and they do so very well. And, I'm looking forward to them, changing with the times as well, whatever that means. And one question I had was, we have already informed them that we're not going to renew.
Correct. We have met with them to discuss it, and we've met with Dennis Edwards from Cable One as well. So things are lined up as long as you approve not doing anything. And I will say there is a lot of duplication as well. A lot of the programs that they run, we already run on our own channel, shows like council chat, the HCFD board meetings. And in fact, because of Cable One's upgrade to a digital platform last year, the entire area already receives Prescott's Community Access Channel. So in some cases, we are receiving the same program 3 times. So there's a lot of duplication going on.
Laura?
Thank you for pointing out all that duplication, because that is just the basic fact. That in itself is enough reason to take this action.
Any other comments? Mary?
Well, I do appreciate the research and what you've come up with and the savings that we'll have. I also appreciate Cable One and Dennis Edwards. He's
they are a great partner when it comes in the to the community, and the partner that they are with so many things. So appreciate them and the company. Dennis Edwards is a good man. So.
Yeah, part of our agreement with them, they'll provide free PSAs for us every month if we desire, and I know the healing field has benefited from those PSAs, so that's a great opportunity for us to get our message out there.
Yeah, they are definitely a every year supporter of that event. Very blessed by their support.
So that agreement will actually be coming back before you in about a month's time. 10 years ago, we did it by an emergency measure to make sure that our agreement with Cable One wouldn't lapse, and we'll probably be doing the same thing this year. I'll bring it before you as an emergency measure because we won't be within a 30-day window to make sure that's effective before the agreement will expire. So, but it's very similar to what we did 10 years ago, for those of us that were here then.
Any other comments? Everybody ready to have it brought back to us? Yes. Bring her back.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor
Okay, we move on to number 6. Discussion proposed police department building expansion. Chief?
Evening again, Mayor and Council. I won't be talking about impaired driving, so hopefully, and I'm not impaired, I swear. So we come to you tonight to talk to you about the expansion of the police department. Many moons ago, people a lot smarter than I realized that the police department would continue to grow and eventually we'd need to expand the building. And so we're at the point where we need to do that. So several months ago, myself, Larry, and a couple of others, including the chief, sat around a table and spoke to some different architectural firms. And in doing so, we selected a firm that we're going to move forward with, and we'll be introducing them here in a minute. And the point that we're at right now is that we're looking at the exterior building design, and we have a recommendation that we'd like to make. We're going to show you a couple of options, but before I steal anyone's thunder, let me just turn it over to Bill Osborne. Now, Bill works in utilities. He's got about 40 years of experience managing construction projects, and right now he's a utilities inspector. Did I say that right? So I'm going to turn it over to Bill. Thank you.
Welcome. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Well, as you probably all know, Kim Moon was the CIP coordinator, but she has moved on to another opportunity. And I've been asked to step in and act as project manager on both the police station and the work for the library. Now, being a utility inspector doesn't really speak to being able to manage projects, but I have 20 years with a major corporation as a consultant on public works projects and have done many projects, including police stations in Santa Monica, as well as a lot of school and library type work. So I think my background is going to be very suited to what we have going here, and I look forward to failing at my retirement and working with all of you. All right. So with that, I'd like to introduce our architect, and he can do the presentation on the different elevations that we have to show you today.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I am Doug Stroh with Stroh Architecture, and I just celebrated my 25th year in business a week ago. So,
congratulations.
Been around. We've had a really good working relationship with the design committee and James and the chief, and gotten really good input. And we have gone through 6 or 7 probably iterations of the design, and these are a couple that we wanted to show you. These are the 2 finalists, and we wanted to show you the direction that we're going. I'm not sure which one you're looking at here.
Right here. No, we're not have enough room. I'll just hold this one.
So this is the design that everyone pretty much unanimously agreed on. And you can see that we're kind of taking the building, the existing building that feels a little out of place to us with the rest of the Civic Center. the Civic Center and the library are pretty avant-garde type designs and really, I think, put out a positive image for the town. And what we want to do is create a building for the police department, for the town, that kind of picked up on some of the uniqueness of the other two buildings, yet really presented a more of a prestigious look, a look of pride and success. And we feel this design will do that. It does blend in with the existing building, but then the design goes a little bit of a step in a different direction, and I think it evokes a lot of success, and I think it works pretty well. So, if there's any questions, I can answer them.
Questions, anyone?
I just need an answer for a bunch of citizens, because we talked a lot when we built the existing building that we'd make it possible to build the second story. And I keep telling them there's a reason. So give me the verbiage to explain to them why we did not follow through on our original intention.
Why didn't we go with the second floor? Cost.
Well, we didn't go with the second floor for several reasons. The main one was it would have cost a lot more. Secondly, when you have construction on top of a functioning police station, it might not be functioning all the time. The power might go out. We've got to run pipes and everything down below in that scenario, and very noisy, and it just would open the door to a lot of potential mini disasters, so to speak. And it's much more economical to build the new freestanding building. And down the road, the second floor is still an option if there's land issues or other issues that the only way you can go is up. It's still there. But the other, from a design standpoint, it probably wouldn't have changed the looks of the existing building, which, don't get me wrong, isn't bad, but I don't think it's the same quality, the same uniqueness that your other two buildings are expressing here.
Let me reassure you, I have no concerns whatsoever about this plan, but we just made such a point of our reasoning the first time around that I just wanted to be adequate in my information when I answered the questions, and thank you, you answered that.
I believe you're going to get more bang for your buck with this approach.
Listen, I love going to the citizens saying, excuse me, we saved money. Do you have any problems with that?
Well, many of the things we identified is, the existing building has 3 rooftop units. So somehow we would have to take those rooftop units off, build the building or build the shell around it, get the rooftop units up on top, and then eat up a lot of space to bring those ducts back down. In the meantime, there's no heating or air conditioning in the building. And so the more we got into it, it just didn't make any sense, in our opinion.
Good. Other questions? Mary?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Larry got a comment?
Yeah, and Doug hit on it. There will be a day that there's a second story built on that building, but it's going to take land costs going up and new construction costs going up, and then you'll find that will be very affordable space. But right now it's not, so off we go.
Good. Okay, now Mary?
Oh, all I was going to say is, sometimes you remodel your house. And by the time you're done with the remodel, you're almost like, I should have just went and built a brand new one and not done this. So that's just kind of how I see this. We'll leave the original alone and do a nice new one, work out very easily and not be very complicated.
That's a very good analogy. We can build this freestanding and not, affect the officers' work.
Yeah.
And it just makes a lot of sense. We've created a nice, secure outdoor patio for the department, for lunch breaks or whatever, and it'll have nice views of the civic center also. So we have special events going on. It's designed for observation from that building. So there's a lot of really neat aspects about it.
Marty?
Yeah, I think you partially answered the question because I can't see it in this building, in the drawings. So this is going to be a freestanding building with a passageway between the two? Or is there going to have to be doorways cut?
No. It's connected to the existing building. And the connection is, of course, a two-story connection. That's where we have the elevator and the stairs. And so the building is 10 feet out from the existing building. What that also does for us, if we connected the building to the existing building, of course, we have constructionology issues, and then, more importantly, all those people with those windows lose those windows. So they'll still have the windows on the west side and, the other facade, and so they'll still be able to look out into a courtyard. They're not going to have the big views, but they still have natural light and a view outside. And the courtyard will be, there'll be some hardscaping and some landscaping, so it'll be, a pleasant view. But if we connect it to the building, we lose all those windows for all those people, and I don't think...
I'm very glad to hear that.
There would not be some happy people.
Cody?
Oh.
No? Any other comments, anyone? Anything else? Chief, any other comments?
Put the winning one up there. Yeah, let's end with that.
So in the context of having this conversation about space and properly utilizing space, something that we've talked about for years that challenges us is the storage of our evidence. And so I just wanted to bring up a point of conversation that we recently engaged with one of our engineers in the town, and he did a very extensive study for us about the lifespan of our current space for evidence storage. And it's apparent at this point that in about 2.5, 3 years at the most, we're going to be out of room. We are very fortunate at this point to have a preliminary agreement that we'll bring back to you in about a month with the Central Arizona Fire and Medical Authority that will allow us to move some long-term items off-site. Different evidentiary items have different storage periods that are required by state law, state retention laws. For example, evidence of homicide or sexual assault, we have to hang on to that for up to 100 years. And so there's some things in there that are taking up space that we can move off-site and find a more economical per square foot storage solution. So we're going to do that, and that's going to reduce for the near future, I think, the need to expand any further and be much more economical. So I just wanted to mention that. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Good. Questions, anyone? Jody?
I don't have a question, Mayor, but I would like to attest to this. Deputy Chief Edelstein took me through the police department this week, and I got to see that evidence room. I was amazed how big it was and how full it was, not just in what had to be kept cold, but in regular temperature. Yeah, and it's a very important thing. Those statutes are important.
Thank you.
Not only full, it's adding more to it, so.
Absolutely.
Other questions, comments? Larry?
Yeah, just to reiterate what Deputy Chief said, you don't store things in $200 plus square foot buildings. And so the expansion of our storage is in a much more economical building, and that's as it should be. And the agreement that will be coming back for your perusal has very favorable terms, and we're looking at a long-term agreement. And it is actually a very good arrangement so that we're not storing anything more than what we have in the existing space in terms of long-term evidence storage. We're moving it off-site, much more affordable.
Good. Mr. Stroh?
Last comment, some positive things that we discovered is the existing electrical service is sized so that we can expand without doing anything else to it, just plugging into it. And that's the same with the emergency generator also. It's already sized to run the entire building, even including the new addition. So that was a very pleasant surprise. And we can pull off the existing water, too. We do have to run a separate fire line to sprinkle the new building, but that's really the least expensive item of all the discoveries that we made. So those items alone could have cost us another $75,000 or $100,000. So we're getting the biggest building possible because of those issues. So thank you.
So would it be safe to say, Doug, that we planned ahead?
Yes. Larry planned ahead. No, it was.
Well, we rely very heavily on your expertise to guide us in this construction, so we appreciate that. Any other comments, anyone? Laura?
I am not at all surprised, but I'm delighted that we're still paying attention to every detail. Because when you don't get minute in your attention to detail, you pay later on with a lot of dollars. It's clear that will not happen here, and that's very, very comforting. And I hope that our taxpayers hear that.
Do you have another comment, Mary? Vice Mayor, any comments? Mr. Stroh, I think you've explained it pretty well.
Thank you, everyone. I look forward to seeing you at the grand opening.
By all means. Okay. Any other comments, Chief? Nothing? Okay. We have one more item that I know everybody hates, and that is number 7, adjournment. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming.